It's crazy. I feel like I have to go do this separate video instead of sitting over here and chimp out talking about, the Iran war, Carmelo Anthony, and stuff like that. What I'm trying to say is I have like a whole sheet of notes here, thoughts, where I'm talking about the collective consciousness, timeline, 2020 being the trigger point, how AI will actually accelerate our evolution and replace the obsolescence in society that we no longer need. It's a pretty big thing. But then at the same time, I'm tying this into superpowers, or at least people coming online and coming into deeper awareness of who they are. And these are the type of videos I like to do. These are the type of thoughts I like to have. These are the type of contents and topics that I would prefer to discuss. Not things that trap us in this three-dimensional, low vibrational, materialistic, tribalistic human experience. I hate that crap. We need to understand who we are, the time frame we were born in, the powers that we have at our disposal, and the dumb shit they got us doing. And we have to make a conscious decision to not engage in the dumb shit. It has got to be a consistent and repetitive decision to not engage in low IQ things or low vibratory actions. Simply by me even discussing this madness, I am lowering my vibration and, oh God, am I lowering my IQ. This is the point. They want to deal with low IQ, low vibrational, emotional, bestial animals that don't use their higher mental faculties. They want to treat you like a child because children and animals are much easier to control than actual humans who are awake, informed, and activated. I'm trying to talk to you about being activated, staying activated, staying vigilant. Now, I'm not going to do it in this video. It's going to have to be a separate video entirely where I go over all of these important topics because they're equally as important. It's a part of a series I'm talking about where I'm trying to go over how they're trying to hack the fourth dimension. It's a whole separate thing. But in our dimension, this low vibrational dimension that we now find ourselves in, they have us really doing things that are destructive. I don't really know how else to say it. It's low vibration, it's low IQ, it's destructive, it's animalistic, it's bestial, it's self-serving, it's degenerate, it's nothing good. And so when we have the option to recognize that there's nothing good being pushed and we can consciously choose to put out beneficial things or productive things, this is what we have to do. We cannot allow ourselves to be dragged into the mud of low IQ, low vibrational nonsense called the news. We can't judge people for how they decide to live their lives, whether it's destructive or ultimately constructive to us. The Aboriginals have a phrase, it's called in Lakesh, I am another you. Everybody living their life right now is another version of yourself. And whether you have people who are trying to throw their mother-loving wife away versus people who are trying to appreciate the time they have here and set something aside for their kids to come after, that's a completely different discussion. Because it doesn't look like Karmelo Anthony is going to leave anything to his children unless he gets out of this whole debacle and somehow becomes like an internet celebrity that beat the corrupt justice system and takes it to Wadi. I pray to God that storyline never happens because it's a synthetic timeline. It's an alternative timeline, one that's being pushed on us that ultimately encourages a low vibrational, low IQ type things. We need to stay away from that. And so when I get off of this video and work on another video and I start talking about timelines, synthetic timelines, organic timelines, higher timelines, lower timelines, all this type of stuff will make sense. I pray to God that it does. It's all designed to make you really think about, again, the time frame we're in, the dimensionality, your awareness of this dimensionality and everything else that comes with it, for you to recognize your power, for you to recognize what the Bible calls the dunamis, right? Where we get the word dynamic, dynamo, dynamite, the dunamis, the soul. And so while we're in a time frame of just massive socioeconomic reformation, massive sociocultural transformation, We just have to be mindful of all of the different things that these people are going to do to try to trap us in a low vibrational, low IQ, low frequency mindset. Don't do that. Stay away from these things that hijack your emotions and hijack your mind, because now you're a slave of somebody else's world, a slave of somebody else's will. You're not in control of yourself. You're not in control of your own world. You have now shifted into a lower timeline. They have grabbed your mind, thrown it in the mud, and forced you to be a pig just like them. Don't do that. For real, do not do that. Rise up with me. Rise up and become a human. Rise up and understand who you truly are. And this ties into a whole nother video that I have to get into, where we talk about, again, humans, the dunamis, the fracturing of humanity, what humanity looks like in contrast to all of these different species that are being birthed right now. How you're going to see people with what we would think of as superpowers, because guess what? They chose to access the higher timeline. They didn't muddy their mind and soul with the matters of the world. They chose higher dimensional existence, and they were rewarded for doing so. And so I got to cut the video short. This is me like wanting to tell you that I have a whole nother video planned for you with a lot of information to talk about this type of stuff. But unfortunately, the collective consciousness is clogged up with Karmelo Anthony, and people won't really truly be able to grasp what we're talking about. And so we'll get that video out here shortly. This is me simply saying, be mindful of what you consume. Be mindful of what you entertain. Be mindful of where you spend your time and your energy.